My sister used my infertility to announce her pregnancy at my baby shower. She placed her hands on her very flat belly and announced she was pregnant. What she didn't see coming was the revenge I had planned and how I would expose her. Hi, I'm Rachel, and I want to tell you a story about love, betrayal, and how sometimes the worst wounds are inflicted by the people closest to you. My journey to motherhood wasn't easy. In fact, it nearly broke me. For years, I struggled with infertility. Endless doctor appointments, hormone injections, miscarriages, and hope that was eventually crushed. We even took out a second mortgage to afford one last round of IVF. And it failed. I hit rock bottom that day. My husband, Aaron, held me as I sobbed on the bathroom floor. I remember whispering, maybe I wasn't meant to be a mother. It wasn't just physically draining. It broke me. Emotionally. Spiritually. As a woman. As a wife. I dreamed of becoming a mother more than anything. And after years of pain and prayers, my husband and I chose to adopt. And that's where my real story begins. Life has a strange way of giving you what you need, just not the way you expected. When we got the call, a baby girl had been born and the birth mother had chosen us. I broke down sobbing in my kitchen. It felt like someone had handed me the world. We named her Lily. When we first met Lily at the hospital, wrapped in a pale yellow blanket and blinking at the world, I felt something I can't describe. She wasn't born from me, but she was born for me. She had my husband's warm brown eyes, and a calmness in her that soothed every cracked piece of me. I'd never felt so full. My friends and family knew how long we'd waited for this. So when my best friend offered to host a baby shower for me, it felt like a celebration of not just a baby, but survival. I was finally stepping into the life I'd fought so hard for. Now let me say this. Hannah and I were never close. She was the golden child, the one who got everything without asking. Growing up, she was effortlessly beautiful, popular, and self-centered. It wasn't just how teachers adored her or how effortlessly she made friends. It was how everything had to orbit around her. She wasn't cruel in the obvious way. No screaming matches or slammed doors. Her specialty was quieter. Sharper. Whispered digs dressed as sisterly concern. Are you sure you want to wear that? It makes your hips look wide. Or during dinner. Rachel's book won second place. Not first, but still. That's good for someone who's not naturally creative. She once told me at age 14, face it, Rach, I'll always be the lucky one. I'll get the guy first, the ring first, the house, the baby. You'll catch up eventually. She said it with a smile like she was doing me a favor by stating the facts. And she did marry first. A massive wedding. I'm talking chandeliers, swans, a string quartet. I was a bridesmaid, of course, in a pale green dress she specifically chose because she said it was forgiving on fuller figures. Her husband, Nathan, was decent enough. Until he wasn't. The marriage lasted less than 2 years. She left with a Chanel bag and a string of dramatic Instagram quotes about cutting toxicity. She never spoke about the divorce details, which, in typical Hannah fashion, only added to the mystery. By the time I met Aaron and got married, our wedding was small, simple, and full of laughter. My dress was borrowed. Our cake was homemade. But it was real. We were real. And yet even then I remember Hannah raising an eyebrow and saying, "You always go for quiet love, huh? Cute. I like passion more." She never thought I was enough. Not glamorous enough, not successful enough, not feminine enough. So when my fertility struggles started, Hannah didn't offer comfort. She offered advice. Have you tried yoga? Maybe if you didn't stress so much. You know, some women just aren't meant to be mothers. It's not a bad thing. Just different. Every sentence was a knife. So when I finally became a mother, through adoption, it wasn't just joy I felt. It was triumph. It was healing. It was proof that love finds a way, even when biology fails. And on the day of that shower, all I wanted was to celebrate that quiet miracle. I just never expected Hannah would walk in and do what she always does. Take the one moment that wasn't about her and twist it. The day of the shower was perfect. Jenna, my best friend since high school, had poured her entire heart into planning every detail. She spent weeks organizing it, down to the last napkin color. She made handmade name tags, ordered cookies shaped like baby rattles, and even created a memory station where people could write letters to Lily to read when she turned 18. There were pastel decorations draped across the garden fence, mason jars with baby's breath on each table, and adorable cupcakes with little pink baby shoes. But the centerpiece was the beautiful hand-painted banner. Welcome baby Lily. Loved before you even arrived. Everyone was beaming. It wasn't extravagant, but it was warm, intimate, and filled with love. Jenna gave a short toast, holding back tears. To Lily, the baby who didn't grow under Rachel's heart, but who grew in it. And to Rachel, the strongest mother I know. I cried. Everyone did. I was in the middle of opening gifts, my lap full of tissue paper and tiny clothes when it happened. The clink. Hannah stood up, her chair scraping lightly against the patio stone. She tapped her glass with a spoon and cleared her throat. Can I just say something really quick? I looked up smiling, thinking she was going to congratulate us. Maybe for once say something heartfelt. But instead, she placed her hand on her belly, a very flat belly, and said brightly, I wasn't going to say anything yet, but I just have to share this joy with all of you. I'm pregnant. Finally. After just 1 month of trying. A ripple went through the group, surprised murmurs, a few claps, gasps. She giggled and added with a wink. Looks like fertility runs in the family. Well, most of the family. And then she looked directly at me, right into my eyes, like it was a punch only I was supposed to feel. I froze. It felt like the air had been sucked out of the room. Jenna, who was standing beside the cake, dropped a fork. Someone near the gift table audibly gasped. The laughter that had filled the space all afternoon evaporated. People looked at me, then at her, then at their plates. No one knew what to do. One woman awkwardly clapped twice before stopping. My hands were still resting on a little onesie I just unwrapped, white with gold lettering that said, worth the wait. I blinked, smiled politely, but inside I was shaking. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears, every beat louder than the last. I nodded once, then looked back down at the gift, trying to remember how to breathe. People weren't sure what to do at first. There was this weird awkward pause, like the room had just cracked down the middle, and no one wanted to fall in. But then I saw it. My mother smiling. She rushed to Hannah's side, eyes wide and glistening. Oh my God, really? Hannah, that's wonderful. She gasped, pulling her into a hug. I had a feeling you were glowing. I'm going to be a grandma twice. Then others followed. Cousin Tara gave Hannah a tight hug. Aunt Marie was already asking about the due date. Even a few of my friends, people who'd shown up to celebrate my motherhood, offered congratulatory words with confused, hesitant smiles. And then, just as expected, the questions started. Wait, who's the father? Aunt Marie asked with a curious smile, glancing at my mother. Last we heard, you were still single. I thought you were still divorced, someone else chimed in. Even my mother looked at Hannah with a slight tilt of concern. Hannah, are you seeing someone? There was a flicker in Hannah's expression, just for a second, before she let out a soft, dramatic sigh and shook her head with a wistful smile. It's complicated, she said vaguely. He's private. Doesn't like being in the spotlight. We're figuring things out. She added, he's not really the type to come to showers or family things. Some guests exchanged subtle glances. My mom's smile faltered just slightly, but no one pressed further, not yet. Meanwhile, I was still sitting there, my lap full of wrinkled tissue paper, and an unopened gift bag with a card that said, to the world's most patient mom. I stood slowly, pushing the onesie off my knees and smoothing down my dress. I walked toward the kitchen, jaw tight, needing a breath, needing distance, needing anything but this. But my mother followed. Rachel, she whispered, catching my arm near the sink. Don't do this. I turned to her, eyes narrowed. Do what, Mom? React? Speak? Defend the one day that was supposed to be about my daughter, my journey. She sighed, voice low but firm. Hannah didn't mean any harm. She probably just got excited. I scoffed. You think that was excitement? That was strategy. And you know it. My voice rose and a few heads turned. I lowered it quickly, but the fire in my chest kept growing. She chose this day, this moment, with a flat belly and a smug look, and you ran to her like she'd just ended world hunger. She's your sister, Mom hissed. Don't start drama. It's not the time. I leaned in, biting my words so no one else could hear them. No, it's the perfect time. She's humiliated me in front of everyone I love. And I'm going to teach her a lesson she won't forget. Mom's eyes widened. Rachel, no. Don't ruin your shower. I didn't ruin it, I said, pulling my arm gently out of her grasp. She did. I turned to head back toward the guests, my heart pounding harder with every step, because in that moment I knew one thing. I wasn't going to stay quiet anymore. When I stepped out of the kitchen, the sunlight felt harsher, like it knew something had changed. The energy had shifted. What was once warm and glowing now felt tense, muted, like everyone was walking on invisible glass. Hannah was no longer holding court in the center. She was off to the side, arms crossed, speaking quietly to Aunt Marie. Her jaw was tight. Her eyes flicked toward me for just a second. And then, without a word, she picked up her purse, muttered something to our cousin, and walked out through the side gate. No goodbye. No hug. Not even a fake excuse. Just silence. One by one, guests started filtering out. Some offered quiet hugs. Others gave the kind of smile you give at funerals, apologetic, uncomfortable, unsure of what to say. The music had stopped. The baby shower banner fluttered sadly in the breeze. Cupcakes sat untouched. I stood near the gift table, arms crossed, trying not to crumble. That's when Aaron walked over. My husband, my calm in every storm. He didn't say anything right away. He just placed his hand gently on the small of my back and let me lean into him. After a moment I whispered, "She ruined it." "No," he said, quietly but firmly. "She tried. But she didn't win." I swallowed hard, my eyes burning. "I wasn't jealous that she was pregnant," I murmured. "Not even for a second." "I know," he said. "It's the way she did it, Aaron. The way she used my pain to elevate her joy. Like adoption made me less of a mother." He turned toward me, cupping my cheek with one hand. "You are more of a mother than she'll ever understand. What she did says everything about her. Nothing about you." I nodded, biting the inside of my cheek to hold it together. He kissed my forehead. And in that moment, surrounded by fading decorations and half-wrapped baby gifts, I knew. Hannah may have stolen the moment. But not my joy. Not my family. And definitely not my daughter. I didn't call. I didn't text. I didn't sit on it like I usually did, quietly fuming until the moment passed. This time, I chose war. 3 days after the baby shower, I invited everyone, family, close friends, even Jenna's mom, to what I called a thank you dinner at our home. Casual. Laid back. No decorations. Just food and wine and one last chance to celebrate Lily before we settled into quiet newborn life. I knew Hannah would show up. She couldn't resist an audience. She arrived in heels, designer sunglasses still on inside the house, and that same smug smile she wore when she made her announcement at my baby shower. She greeted people with loud, "How are you?" resting her hand subtly on her still flat belly, making sure everyone saw her, felt her presence. I waited until dessert. Everyone was full, talking, laughing, the mood finally back to normal. I stood up, tapped my glass just like she had. "Can I say something real quick?" I asked sweetly. She looked up, instantly stiffening. She knew that line. "I just want to thank everyone for being here again. And for showing so much love to our daughter Lily." I smiled at Aaron, who gave me a slow nod. "And I'd also like to thank my sister," I turned toward Hannah, "for reminding me what it feels like to be betrayed by someone who should have protected me." The room fell quiet. Utensils froze midair. Hannah blinked, confused. "Excuse me." "No, let me explain." I stepped forward, voice steady. "You used my baby shower. A moment built on years of heartbreak, of miscarriages, of invasive surgeries and nights crying into the floor, to make your announcement." "She didn't mean it like that," my mother started, but I raised a hand. I wasn't finished. "Oh, but it gets better," I said, walking over to Jenna, who handed me her phone without a word. I played the video. The one Jenna had accidentally recorded at the shower. The one where Hannah whispered to Aaron's cousin, "I mean, at least my baby won't come with trauma. Adopted kids always have baggage." Gasps. Murmurs. Someone dropped a fork. I looked right at Hannah. "You said that." "In my shower. On the day we celebrated a baby who didn't grow under my heart, but who grew in it every single day." Hannah's face went red, then pale, then nothing. Just frozen. My mother looked horrified. Aunt Marie had a hand over her mouth. You always thought you were the lucky one, didn't you? I continued. The pretty one. The one who'd marry first, have the first baby, get the bigger ring. You told me once I'd always be chasing you. I took a step closer. Well, guess what? I'm not chasing anymore. I turned toward the table and picked up a framed picture of Lily, the one where she's smiling, reaching up toward the camera. This is my daughter. She may not share my blood, but she shares my soul. Aaron stood beside me. Jenna came to my other side. I didn't throw this dinner to say thank you, I said. I threw it to take back my voice, to show Lily and myself that this is what motherhood looks like. Strength, protection, and not letting anyone, even family, walk all over you. Then I turned to Hannah one last time. You don't get to be part of Lily's life until you understand what love actually looks like. Hannah opened her mouth once, then again, but no sound came out. Her confident posture faltered. For the first time in her life, she looked small. I didn't mean it like that, she finally stammered. It was just a joke. You're overreacting, Rachel. A joke, I said, stepping forward again. At my baby shower? In front of people who watched me bleed for years, physically and emotionally, to become a mother. She turned to our mother, desperate. Mom, say something. But Mom stayed seated, hands folded tightly in her lap. Her lips were pressed together like she wanted to disappear. Aunt Marie, who had always been Hannah's #1 fan, looked away. Even Jenna's mom, who had once called Hannah a natural star, stood with arms crossed, lips pursed. Hannah, my mom said softly. This was supposed to be Rachel's moment. No. Hannah snapped, voice cracking. I didn't ruin anything. I just wanted to share my news. I'm pregnant. That's something to celebrate too. And it will be, I replied calmly. Just not on the back of my pain. There was a long pause. Then Jenna, my ride or die, my sister by choice, broke the silence with just one sentence. You owe Rachel an apology. And Lily too. Hannah's jaw clenched. She looked around, scanning the room, searching for someone, anyone to be on her side. But all she saw were quiet stares, cold wine, half-eaten cake, and not a single ally. Her eyes welled with tears, but not the kind born of remorse. These were tears of embarrassment, of being outplayed in her own game. She grabbed her purse. And this time she didn't storm out dramatically. She walked slowly, quietly, like someone walking away from a stage where the curtain had fallen, but no one clapped. She walked out, and this time no one followed. Time passed. The drama faded, but the damage didn't. People tried to act like nothing had happened, like we were still sisters, still family, still expected to smile at the same dinner table and pretend it all hadn't gone up in flames. But I couldn't forget, and I wasn't about to pretend anymore. I didn't go to her gender reveal, or her baby shower. I didn't show up at the hospital when her baby was born. Some people called me cold. My mother begged me to be the bigger person. But I wasn't angry anymore. I was tired. And sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is step away from people who don't know how to love you well. Lily is 3. She's clever, a little wild, and has a habit of stuffing crackers into my purse when I'm not looking. She calls Aaron Dada and me Mama with so much joy it still brings tears to my eyes. She clings to my neck like I'm the only person in the world. And in those quiet moments, when I'm rocking her to sleep or watching her splash in the tub, I don't think about my sister. Because Lily taught me that family is not about blood. It's about heart. If you've ever had someone steal your moment, or twist your pain into their spotlight, I want you to know you are not alone. And your joy? Still yours. No one can take it. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories. Let's keep telling the truth, even when it's hard.